These viral AI strange underwater creatures videos are pulling in tens of millions of views, and the best part is that they are easy to create. In this video, I'll show you the full workflow step by step. By the end of this video, you'll have everything you need to make your first video today. Look at this channel. It gained tens of millions of views from these videos. This video has more than 28 million views. This one has 24 million views, and so on. I'll show you right away how to create them step by step, from scratch to a fully professional video. Then, I'll tell you about another viral niche that is also powerful. You shouldn't miss this. The deep ocean is the last genuinely unexplored frontier on Earth. More of the moon's surface has been mapped than the ocean floor, and that single fact produces a specific kind of obsession in people. When someone encounters footage of a creature that looks like it operates under completely different biological rules, something that glows in absolute darkness, something translucent, something whose movement defies what the viewer's brain has categorized as possible, the scroll stops. Not because the viewer chose to stop, because the brain physically couldn't process the image fast enough to decide to keep going. That involuntary pause is the entire engine of this niche. So let's get started right away. Step 1. Analyze the channel. Go to the document in the description and copy the analysis prompt. Open Gemini and paste the prompt, but don't send it yet. Scroll down until you find the links field. Navigate to the Zinchu channel, sort by popular, and copy the links to its top 5 shorts. Paste those links into the designated field and send. What Gemini returns isn't a surface summary. It's a structural breakdown of the mechanics behind those videos. The pacing rhythm that holds attention without narration. The specific visual qualities of the creatures that trigger the strongest audience response. The camera movement patterns that make the footage feel captured rather than generated. The way each clip opens in a way that makes swiping feel impossible. Read the output carefully and extract the patterns that repeat across multiple videos. Don't skim this step. Look for patterns that appear in at least 3 of the 5 videos. Those aren't coincidences, they're structural decisions the algorithm has already validated. Single video observations might be noise. Patterns across multiple videos are signal. Pay attention not just to what appears in the videos, but to what doesn't. The top performers in this niche tend to be visually restrained. They don't rush the reveal, they don't overcrowd the frame, and they don't try to show everything in the first 5 seconds. That restraint is deliberate and it creates tension. Write every observation down. You'll reference this brief throughout the entire production process. Once you have your notes, organize them into 2 categories: visual patterns and structural patterns. Visual patterns are things you can see: the type of creature, the lighting conditions, the color palette of the environment. Structural patterns are things you feel: the pacing, the tension arc, the moment within each video where the emotional peak lands. Both categories matter, but structural patterns are harder to replicate without consciously identifying them first. Step 2. Generate your scene prompts. Go back to the document and copy the scene creation prompt. Paste it into Gemini and send. What comes back is a complete set of visual prompts, one for each scene, built directly from the patterns Gemini identified in the analysis phase. Every prompt is calibrated to the specific qualities that drive performance in this niche, rather than generic underwater imagery. The difference between prompts built this way and prompts written without the analysis behind them is significant. One is built on evidence, the other is built on assumption. Keep them in the exact order Gemini delivers them. The sequence builds a deliberate visual arc. Opening scenes establish the environment and introduce the creature. Middle scenes reveal its most striking and unusual qualities, and closing scenes leave the viewer with an image that lingers. Scrambling that order turns a visual journey into a random collection of clips. Before moving to the next step, read through every prompt and ask yourself whether each one matches the patterns you identified in the analysis. If a prompt feels generic or doesn't align with what was working in the top videos, go back to Gemini and ask it to revise that specific prompt with more specificity. 1 weak prompt produces 1 weak scene, and 1 weak scene disrupts the entire video's atmosphere. Step 3. Generate your scenes in 11 Labs. ElevenLabs is known primarily as a voice generation tool, but it now has full AI video and image generation built directly into the platform. That's what you're using here, not voiceover. Copy your first scene prompt. Open ElevenLabs, navigate to the video generation tool, select vertical aspect ratio, choose your preferred duration. Don't forget to enable the video's audio as well. Paste the prompt and generate. When the clip arrives, don't immediately move to the next prompt. Evaluate it properly first. Ask yourself 3 things. Does the creature look genuinely unusual rather than just stylized? Does the environment feel like it has real depth and weight? Does the camera movement feel deliberate rather than mechanical? If the answer to any of these is no, regenerate before moving forward. When you have a clip you're satisfied with, click Extend Video. What ElevenLabs will do is take the last frame of the video and put it in the Start option. Paste your second scene prompt and generate. This technique forces visual continuity across every scene. The creature's appearance stays consistent. The water's color temperature doesn't shift. The spatial logic of the environment carries forward without jarring breaks. Without it, each clip risks looking like a different creature in a different location. With it, the viewer follows one continuous experience from first frame to last. Apply the same evaluation process to every clip before saving it. Download each one immediately after approval, name them sequentially, and keep them in a single, organized folder. Step 4. Edit in CapCut. Open CapCut, create a new project, import all your scenes, and place them in the timeline in order. Watch the entire edit from start to finish exactly as a viewer would. Not as someone checking technical quality, but as someone who just encountered this video while scrolling. Step 5. Add music from Epidemic Sound. Go to Epidemic Sound and search for music that fits the emotional register of deep sea content. You're looking for something that feels tense and mysterious without being aggressive or distracting. The music should make the visuals feel more immersive. It should feel like part of the environment rather than something placed on top of it. When you find a track that works, bring it into CapCut and spend real time on the volume balance. Too loud, and the music becomes the main event, pulling attention away from the visual. Too quiet, and it disappears entirely, leaving the video feeling empty. The right level is where the viewer feels the music emotionally without consciously registering it as a separate element from the footage. Step 6. Publish. Before writing your title, return to the top performing videos on the Zinshu channel and study their titles as a viewer seeing them for the first time. What does the title make you feel? What question does it create in your mind? The titles in this niche tend to name the creature or describe its most striking quality in language that makes the viewer feel like they're about to see something that genuinely shouldn't exist. That sense of impossibility is the emotional hook that earns the tap. Model your title directly on the patterns you observe. For the thumbnail, go back through your edit and identify the single frame where the visual impact is at its absolute peak, where the creature looks most extraordinary, where the lighting is most dramatic, where the composition is strongest. Screenshot that frame and use it as your thumbnail. In a niche built entirely on visual impact, the thumbnail is your most powerful distribution tool. Mark the video as AI generated when you upload. YouTube's policy requires it for realistic AI footage, and it carries no performance penalty in this niche. The second niche is the junk food arrest niche. Junk food is one of the most universally recognized categories of content on the internet. People respond to it instantly, regardless of language, culture, or background, which is exactly what makes it powerful as a faceless niche. Step 1. Generate your image and scene prompts. Go to the document in the description and copy the full prompt. Paste it into ChatGPT, but don't send yet. Scroll to the topic field and enter a specific food item. Not a category, a specific item. The more concrete your choice, the more precise and usable your prompts will be. Vague inputs produce vague outputs, and vague outputs produce forgettable visuals. Add the environment where the food is being captured. A specific setting gives the visual context that makes the footage feel like a real location rather than a blank studio. Think about what environment makes this particular food look most dramatic and most appealing. Then send. ChatGPT generates 2 separate sets of prompts: image creation prompts and scene creation prompts. The image prompts create the static base images that anchor each scene visually. The scene prompts animate those images into video. Keep them clearly separated before moving forward. Mixing them up wastes generation credits and time and creates confusion during the animation phase that is genuinely difficult to untangle once you're mid-production. Step 2. Generate your images in 11 Labs. Copy your first image prompt. Open 11 Labs, navigate to the image generation tool, select vertical aspect ratio, paste the prompt, and generate. Evaluate each result against one standard. Does this food look genuinely irresistible? Not just clean or well composed. Does it trigger an immediate response the moment you see it? Does it look like a version of that food you'd want to reach through the screen for? If the answer isn't an immediate and unambiguous yes, generate again or refine the prompt before moving forward. Repeat for every image prompt. Download each one, number them clearly to match their corresponding scene prompts, and keep them in a single organized folder. Step 3. Animate your images in 11 Labs. Switch 11 Labs from image generation mode to video generation mode. Upload your first image into the start field. Go back to ChatGPT and copy the scene prompt that corresponds to that image. Not the image prompt, the scene prompt. Paste it and generate. The image
You
prompt
are under
produced
arrest for
the
harming
perfect
human
static
health.
visual.
I was just being served here.
The scene prompt brings that image to life with motion that makes the footage feel dynamic rather than like an animated photograph. Evaluate each clip before saving it. The motion should feel natural and continuous rather than mechanical or looping. If a clip looks like it's repeating the same movement, or if the motion feels artificial or abrupt, regenerate it. Beyond the technical quality of the motion, ask yourself whether the clip makes the food look more or less appealing than the static image did. A strong animation enhances what the image created. A weak animation undermines it. Only save clips that enhance. Work through every scene. Upload the image. Apply the scene prompt. Evaluate. Download. Keep everything numbered and organized throughout. Step 4. Edit in CapCut. Open CapCut. Create a new project, import all your scenes, and place them in the timeline in order. Food content moves at a slightly faster rhythm than creature content. Each scene should linger just long enough for the visual to fully register before cutting to the next. Too slow, and the video loses energy. Too fast, and the viewer can't absorb what they're seeing before it's gone. Watch the full edit and evaluate each clip against the others. If any clip looks less visually strong than those around it, cut it. One weak scene breaks the consistency that makes this format work. The sustained visual quality across the entire edit is what keeps the viewer watching through to the end. Pay attention to your opening clip. It needs to be one of your strongest. Food content earns its first few seconds through immediate visual appeal, and if the opening clip doesn't deliver that instantly, the viewer has already moved on before the better clips arrive. Restructure the order, if necessary, to lead with your most compelling scene. Step 5. Add music. Go to Epidemic Sound and find upbeat, energetic music that matches the visual rhythm of the content. Something with forward momentum that makes the footage feel exciting. A track that pushes the viewer through the edit rather than slowing them down. Balance the volume so it complements the visual energy without overpowering it. This is the final video.
You are under arrest for harming human health. I was just being served here. You caused damage to people's bodies. I didn't choose this life.
You knew what you were doing.
I was made to be addictive.
You are guilty of harming human health. Please, I can change.
If I had a second chance, would you still choose me?
Export at 1080p. Step 6. Publish. The titles that perform in this niche are specific and sensory. They name the food and create the immediate sense that what the viewer is about to see is the most visually striking version of it that exists. Study the top performing videos in this format and identify the title patterns that appear consistently. Model yours on those patterns rather than inventing an approach without evidence behind it. Before exporting, go through your edit and identify the single frame where the food looks most spectacular. The peak visual moment of the entire video. Screenshot it and use it as your thumbnail. For food content, the thumbnail is doing significant persuasion work before anyone clicks. A thumbnail that produces an immediate visual response before the viewer has even tapped is a thumbnail that earns its views independently of everything else. Mark the video as AI generated when you upload. Now, if you want not just 5 or 10 other niches, but literally over 1,000, join the Comfortable Money Club community. There, you'll find the 100-day challenge to build a successful faceless channel, over 1,000 faceless niches, and in-depth weekly reviews of the top 3 most active members' channels, and much more. You can find the link in the description.